Well, the time is just gone 17 minutes past 9 a.m. as we continue with the broadcast this morning. Now, this is a matter of concern. I've got two pieces of communication, one dated July the 14th, 2022, the other the 21st of July, 2022. And these are letters, is an email that has gone through on behalf of the As-Sadiqeen Islamic Center, talking about the Groenvlei Prison and talking about the lack of halal slaughtered meat and other groceries available to a Muslim inmate. And the second communication that is from an attorney, a letter of demand, Bashir Parak, acting on behalf of Majlisul Ulama South Africa, talking about the Muslim prisoners of Groenvlei Prison violating the constitutional rights of Muslim prisoners at the Groenvlei Prison. We're going across now to be joined by the former inmate at the Groenvlei prison. We're talking with Mubarak Mogopodi. Mubarak, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, Jazakallah khairan so much for joining us. Now, I've had a look at these two pieces of communication, the email and also the letter that has been written by Bashir Parak to the Department of Correctional Services. Clearly, this is a major cause for concern that Muslim inmates are being fed haram and at the same time even forced to attend gatherings, Christian gatherings, and this is a major issue. Just what has your experiences been there at the Groenvlei prison?
Okay, first of all, we arrived there from maximum prison to Grootvlei last year. And then we found out there was no Amir at all, but there were Jamaat. So we tried to organize Jamaat so that we can do things correctly accordingly with Sharia. And we asked the management of Grootvlei to assist us with halal food, only to find out they have employ other cooker. They said that cooker is a Muslim, but if we ask the basic in regard to Muslims and Islam, it doesn't know anything. Then we asked the CMC about this person so that we don't understand how can that kind of person be there and appointed to cook for the Muslims. Then that's whereby we asked the management from the area manager to the official in the prison to assist us, but no one assisted us with these issues. And then on the 4th of February, they transfer the Amir we have chosen, Mr. Mustafa Nchiani, they transfer him to Kimberley. Then after they appointed me.
Yes, Mubarak. I think we have lost some sound here as far as Mubarak is concerned. We're going to try and get hold of Mubarak for some reason or the other. There has been a breakdown in the link, but we will try and get hold of Mubarak very, very shortly. But just to give our listeners a an indication as to what this is all about, is the As-Sadiqeen Islamic Center has written as well, saying that we have got donors from the private sector who are regularly willing to contribute halal meat and groceries for the Muslim inmates. And the permission was requested to bring the meat, and obviously looking at some of the other issues with regard to the Eid as well that was mentioned, and also getting this permission. Now, I'm not too sure at this point in time whether there has been any formal response that has come through from the Department of Correctional Services, and this is of major concern at this point in time because it is not only about the violation of the constitutional rights of the Muslims, it is about feeding them meat which is haram. It is about forcing them to attend gatherings of evangelists, and the claim that if they failed to attend these Christian gatherings, this will result in the prison not providing the parole board with positive feedback in respect of any progress made by Muslim inmates, and this could possibly even hamper their chances of an early release. At the same time, forcing them to use this, what is called a holy oil, making them Christians. I see Mubarak is back with us again. Mubarak, assalamu alaikum to you once again.
Wa alaikum salam. Akhi. Sorry about the network.
No,
Alhamdulillah.
it's
Now,
fine. We don't understand. Continue where you were. Obviously you were talking about the situation about the Amir that was transferred to Kimberley and what had happened since then.
then after being elected as an Amir of the Jamaat, I went to the kitchen to check if all the relevant things are being aligned with Shari, because now we have our own way of doing things in terms of Shari. But now the captain there by the kitchen, now she was not pleased about our move, because now she she thought that maybe we are trying to sabotage or are trying to change the prison according to our needs. And she said to us, we are inmates, there is nothing we can do, we will eat whatever we're supposed to eat. And then they threatened Kabelo Abdul Mulemme. He's a student, the guy, studying HR. He wanted to Mr. Moabi and Mr. Molapi, he wanted to transfer him to Kimberley prison, just like they did with Mr. Gianni. And that thing didn't go well, because he called his family so that his family can intervene on his behalf. That's how the transfer was handled, and he didn't transfer. Then after that, we tried during the Ramadan, we tried all the means to communicate with the relevant official in the prison. All of them, they didn't assist us with anything. That's where we took the step to Yusuf Ismail Ateni for us to assist us. And we sent almost 4 letters to the area manager, Mr. Reed Moses. Nothing has been done. After that, Yusuf also, he didn't return to us as our attorney. Then we consulted with Muslim Prison Board. Then Molana Khatib was here. We asked Molana Khatib in terms of our trophies, because they didn't want us or allow us to wear our trophies. They said it is a policy of the department. But we asked where in the policy where they can point to us the clause that indicates that inmates are not allowed to wear their Muslim trophies. No response was being given to us. Then they allowed the trophies to be worn again. But in terms of the food, till today, I've been released on the 4th of October last month. But still today, as I'm communicating with the guys in prison, no, on Saturday, they told me the situation is now worse. They don't have meat. They just try to give fish and eggs and milk, just like during the Ramadan. And that we agreed on that because it was Ramadan. But we expected them after Ramadan, everything will be fine. But nothing has been happening till today. But Kabelo told me that they were giving chicken. It's only chicken that there's been, no beef, no other related relish for Muslims. Now, it's like these people are being programmed to disrespect Islam, because on the 21st of March this year, they had the Ministry Hore took my hard drive whereby I was studying with Jamia, Islamic Quranic Sciences and Arabic. They took that hard drive from my position and told me that the hard drive contains a pornography. I said, let's go and check if this hard drive contains that pornography as you claim. They didn't want to go with me since they took that hard drive of mine. But I communicated with Mr. Ganga during that time while I was in prison. And since they say Mr. Hogan is always on leave. So since I was released, I spoke to Mr. Ganga 2 times. And he promised me last week, Friday, that this week, Monday, he will get back to me and inform you what is the situation in regard to my hard drive. Because this hard drive contains my tutorial videos from Jamia in Johannesburg since I was studying with them. So this issue of Muslims in Groenvlei, it's a very difficult situation because now no one is assisting brothers there. No, we thought Mr. Bashir Farouk is the relevant person, but since he told us he can't appear before the High Court, we need to find an advocate for that situation. So we've been trying the Majlis Ulama to assist us to get the relevant advocate for that matter. Because also Zahir Umar from Johannesburg, he was willing to assist us with this situation. But the problem is that he wants one of us to go there. So since I'm on a parole, I'm not allowed to cross province in a situation like this. So even though if they don't want this Islam, they won't allow me to go there. So that's the situation we are facing at the present moment.
Mubarak, just looking at the Muslim prison board, I mean, surely they have got contact with the Department of Correctional Services in terms of making a direct approach, in terms of setting a meeting. Was that option ever considered?
These people, they said they have agreement, memorandum of understanding with the department. But since 3 years back or 5 years back, they haven't been here in Groenvlei, according to the religious office of Groenvlei Prison. We asked them about the Muslim prison board. They said these guys have been there since 2018. After 2018, they haven't been there yet. So last year they called them after we are trying to pursue this matter to the court. And when they come, these guys, they side with the department. I don't know why they side with the department because the department is failing us big time. So we have this suspicion that the Molana Khatib somehow is involved there because now we don't understand how can this kind of a Molana agree with this. I can call them the Nasara because they have their own religion. But now, us as Muslims, we are his brothers. Believe in Deen of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. But now, it seems like he doesn't believe in Allah as we thought he believed because he's a Molana after all. So this kind of information, Molana Khatib has been suppressing this and told the department to give us veggies. The veggies are halal. Indeed, the veggies are halal, but in terms of protein, we need halal also because according to the department policy, we were supposed to be given, actually it's a must, so that Muslims must receive halal food. But till today, even if Neo told us they were working with tenders, and tenders take almost years and years. So we were supposed to wait for another term so that contract could be expired. After the expiring of that contract, they will decide which abattoir could supply them. We told them that Molana Gina, Fadel Gina from Chimbali can assist with halal. We told them the Frenchen abattoirs, they have halal. And we were from Group 4, and Group 4, they buy meat from Frenchen abattoirs, it's the halal meat. We asked them, why don't you buy from the halal abattoirs our meat? They said we can't tell them what to do and what not to do. But after all, we are talking about constitutional rights being provided to us and in. So this means they don't regard this constitutional right as existing rights. So we want to take the relevant measures, so that we implement Shari in prison in regard to halal food and related matters, because they think we are only, since we are Africans, they think we are only using Islam for our sentence. When we are going outside, we are no longer there. We are no longer going to believe in Islam. Some of us, we are studying Islam in prison, and we were suppressed for not studying Islam, because they want you, they inform you what to study and what not to study. And after all, it's you who need that kind of education to yourself and for your future purposes. because we were taught according to Quran in this dunya we are only waiting for akhirah. So we are there to attain akhirah in terms of doing what is good to Islam and our religion in general. But
Yes,
the,
Mubarak, and also I think what is important to understand is it's not about the if the halal meat forcing Muslims to attend gatherings of Christians. That is another problem we've learnt about from the communication from Bashir Barak. We've learned about holy oil in making them Christians. So there is a bigger picture here, and at the same time, we also want to get in touch with the Muslim Prisons Board, and we need to understand from them what is it. I mean, they talking about vegetables, but yeah, we have organizations that are prepared to contribute towards halal meat and the groceries for the Muslim inmates. So where, what is the problem, and why is the Muslim Prison Board taking this position that it's fine, you can just feed them with vegetables, and as you mentioned, protein essential. Non-Muslim prisoners are getting their share of protein in prisons. Why should Muslim prisoners be excluded?
uh, this Muslim prison board, they we gave them the report what we are going to do in Godfrey. First of all, we told them we want to implement the programs for Muslims. And even when you go to the parole board, you don't find a Molana there, you find a pastor. And the very same pastor is trying to tell us about Islam and that the topics were not allowed. This whole thing is being influenced by Muslim prison board. That's why we decided to leave the Muslim prison board aside and go and ask the Majlis Ulama to assist us on behalf of Muslims in general here in Free State, especially in Groenvlei Prison. So the relevant thing is that maybe it's misuse of the funds. I'm thinking misuse of the funds is the main contribution for Muslims to suffer with this halal food.
Yes,
So now,
Mubarak. Yeah, what we will do is we're definitely going to get the Muslim Prison Board. We're going to request an interview with them. And I see there is a comment that has come through saying from Kaiser Nasser, who says, "Thank you, Salam Media, for covering important topic, and it's necessary to expose to know reality. And this is the reality on the ground." So we will try and get hold of the Muslim Prison Board. Also, we're going to try and get hold of Golden Miles Budu, because I know he knows the prison system so well as well, and perhaps looking at what he can do as a union. So we definitely will follow up the story. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but we must say Jazakallah to you for coming on, for highlighting the issue, for obviously exposing what is taking place in the Groenvlei prison. So hopefully, inshallah, we will do a follow up, and we will stay in touch with you as well, my brother. Jazakallah once again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran wa alhamdulillah, my sheikh. Masha.
That was Mubarak Mogopodi, a former inmate at the Groenvlei prison, and he is out on parole, so he cannot travel. He mentioned that they had contacted Zahir Umar, and Zahir Umar says he would be required to travel with them, but unfortunately, as far as the law is concerned, he cannot travel from province to province. But this is quite a serious matter. This is a matter that needs to be taken up with the Muslim Prisons Board as well, and also looking at other interest groups, possibly even getting hold of the Department of Correctional Services as to what is happening, because at the end of the day, this is clearly a violation of the constitutional rights of the Muslim prisoners. The time is just gone 9:36 a.m. We're going to go for a break. We come back and we're going to unpack the second presidential summit on gender-based violence and femicide.